Yes, I'm still alive. Hey everybody, LeetSpeed here, coming at you with a video today. Oh my goodness. How long has it been, huh? You know, I mean, there's nothing new at this point. I mean, I've been out for, as far as video making for a while. Like, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I haven't felt like doing video commentating on Yu-Gi-Oh stuff in a while, actually. Not because I don't enjoy commentating. In fact, it's like the opposite. Whenever I'm in the mood to do it, I just do it, you know? Just kind of get in there, just kind of say my thoughts on things, and, you know, maybe you guys will like it, maybe you won't. I don't know. But I don't know, recently I just haven't felt all that excited with Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Not because, oh, I think the game's terrible or anything like that. I don't know, I'm just waiting for like the ban list to come out, because heck, I got a couple of deck profiles planned after this. Like I said in the beginning sequence of this video, if I actually put it there. Actually, you know what? I'm not putting it there. I'm just going to talk about it here, because I felt like that part was too long. Basically, in that segment, I recorded myself showing the trailer for Metroid Prime Hunters on Nintendo's YouTube channel, and I was commenting about the like and dislike ratio being insane. And, you know, I was kind of giving my thoughts there, but I was also talking about how I was going to mainly talk about, you know, instead of trying to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh because I'm not in the mood to talk about it, I'll save the Yu-Gi-Oh talk for the deck profiles for Aromages and Talea plants back to back. So that's where I'm going to focus most of my talk on it, because I don't know, at the moment I'm just not in the mood for it. In fact, ironically enough, the Nintendo E3 digital event, that's definitely more interesting for me to talk about at the moment. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to ever do Yu-Gi-Oh commentary ever again. It just means that I'm just not in the mood at this moment. I mean, I'm just waiting for the game to, you know, get more interesting for me. I mean, there's stuff to talk about, but I'm just waiting for like I'm just waiting for the next ban list to come out, because once I lose my spirit for commentating Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, it doesn't usually come back for a while. So, anyways, like I said, we're doing something a little different here, and we're going to talk about the Nintendo E3 digital event. I'm not talking about the other ones because, well, for one, it doesn't gather my interest all that much outside of a few select things, and the Nintendo one seems to have the most controversy around it, particularly with one game. Well, two games technically, but one game in particular has sparked controversy like none other, and like I said, it's the Metroid one, which I'll go more into detail at the very end of this. So I don't know how long this is going to be, but I need something to talk about, and Yu-Gi-Oh isn't that thing that I can talk about right now that's actually getting me very excited. So I guess let's get to the nitty-gritty of things, shall we? I don't know why I did that, but yeah, anyways. First, like I said, I'll give my rough thoughts on each thing and then go more in depth with the Metroid thing last. Star Fox Zero. Now, I know people were kind of, you know, a lot of people were excited for this game, obviously, because it's a freaking Star Fox game, and it looks to harken back to the older ones, you know, the ones like Star Fox 64 and stuff like that. Now, obviously, it's got a few neat new features, like the transformations. Like those actually looked pretty cool. Like you have the whole chicken walker looking thing, and I'll admit I cracked up when I saw that, but it looked rather cool. Yeah, and you can kind of shift from the R-Wing to the walker form at just about any time, so you don't have to worry about stopping and jumping out of the vehicle like you would in Star Fox Assault. You can kind of just walk around on the ground while still in the R-Wing and just go into flight mode anytime, basically, as long as, you know, there's space for you to move. And not only that, you know, it obviously utilizes the whole gamepad as the cockpit thing, which, you know, some people may or may not be a fan of that, but, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. It's definitely one that I've been looking forward to for a long while. In fact, I've recently been playing a lot of Star Fox 64 3D, and I seriously can't get enough of it. Mainly because I haven't been playing the one on the Nintendo 64 in quite a while. And since I have one on the handheld, I can take it with me anywhere and stuff like that. Now, I know people are kind of like, well, the Star Fox game doesn't look all that impressive. And, you know, I think it looks good, but, you know, I think it's because it's early in development. basically it's not it's because obviously they had a they had a demo of the game on the show floor and stuff like that, and obviously it'll look better as time goes on. By the time the game's out, it'll look a lot better, I'm sure. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that one. I'm looking forward to that one, actually. And, Star Fox, we finally know more about it. And Miyamoto's story about how it came to be is interesting, too, to an extent. Skylander Superchargers, I gotta be honest, I never got into the Skylander stuff. But I will admit that I really like the Bowser and Donkey Kong being characters that you can that are being crossed over into that game. They look pretty cool though. I will admit that's one thing I definitely gotta say. It looks really cool. And heck, I'm sure Bowser and Donkey Kong Donkey Kong would fit right in. And I guess you could say with Donkey Kong at it, it makes quite the expansion. But, we can talk about that all day, but I'm not gonna, because I'm not all that interested. But Bowser and Donkey Kong, they look pretty good. They have some neat stuff about them, and I'm sure they'll fit right in. Now, we have The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. I'm kind of looking forward to it, because I've recently been playing the Legend of Zelda Four Swords Anniversary Edition on my 3DS, and I've been having a lot of fun with it, even playing by myself. So, I don't know if this game will give me that same awesome single-player excitement, but, what the new features it has with the different outfits giving you different moves and stuff like that, it could definitely make things very interesting. And, I'm kind of looking forward to how the whole totem pole mechanic comes into play with a lot of the dungeons and bosses, because it looks like it's definitely going to have a lot more depth and definitely a lot more focus on teamwork this time around instead of just kind of competing with one another. So, that's a thing. And that'll be for 3DS. Now, that's going to be a common thing you're going to be hearing, by the way. Hyrule Warriors Legends for 3DS. Now, this was leaked before the actual E3 digital event happened. I think it got uploaded by accident, by the channel that uploads this kind of stuff. By complete accident. It wasn't supposed to be shown at that time, but then people found it, they were talking about it and stuff like that. Well, there's not much for me to really say about it. I haven't gotten the original one on Wii U, but it does look fun, and I'm not sure if I'd get the 3DS version. But, the two new characters, Tetra and King Red Lions in human form, is really cool. Expanding on the whole character roster. It's pretty cool. And apparently you can transfer them over to the Wii U version as well. So that's a bonus. Fire Emblem Fates. Now, this is a game that I have great interest in. Not so much in playing it, but just for how the game itself is as far as, the story-wise, the mechanics-wise. I like learning about these kind of games just because even though I might not play them myself, it definitely seems a lot deeper, and there's a lot of different things going on in this installment of the series. And this is basically just the English trailer of it, and some of the voices I like more than others, but that's just how it goes. I really didn't like how the main protagonist, Kamui, sounded, the male version anyways. For some reason, I wasn't too keen on how he sounded in that part, but that's just me, though. That weird Fire Emblem cross Shin Megami Tensei game thing. Basically, Japanese trailer with the names of the characters, and we see Chrom, we see Tiki and stuff like that, but I don't know. This is a game that I do have legit interest in, but because I have never played any of the Shin Megami Tensei games or a Fire Emblem game, I'm not sure if I could get into this one. As far as, playing it myself. I could definitely get into it, just for watching it. And, I like seeing how the different elements will work together. Seeing how the two different series combine, how it meshes well, and how the whole aesthetic will come into play. Because obviously at face value, it's not something you take so seriously. But it definitely, on the surface, it definitely doesn't look serious, but there's more to it than there's more that lies beneath. So, that's just what I have to say about it. Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now, that looks pretty cool, though, but, this is something we've known about for a while. I think Japan's had it for, a while, But, you know, it's nice that we're getting a release date in December 4th of this year. So, yeah, at least we're getting a release date. So, you Xenoblade fans will definitely be happy to hear that. The Animal Crossing games, Happy Home Designer and Amiibo Festival. The latter being a bit more controversial than the other. But I'll kind of briefly talk about how I feel about them. Happy Home Designer, you know, it feels more like it might be more like an expansion, or it feels like it should be an expansion to New Leaf. And then Amiibo Festival, oh boy. Besides a Metroid, this seemed to cause the most amount of anger. Just because, well, I know a lot of people were wanting a Wii U Animal Crossing game, you know, much like the other ones before it. But then, and when the trailer was first showing up and whatever, people were all excited. You know, they were just like, "Yeah, all right, we got Animal Crossing." And then we're like, "Wait, what's this?" And then we see dice blocks, and we see spaces, and we see cutscenes of the characters interacting with each other, and then bells are being passed out. That's like the currency being passed out and stuff, or people lose bells or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's like classic Mario Party, except without the mini games and without the unique items and board mechanics and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird, actually. Kind of a weird choice, actually. I wonder, did people ask for it? I don't know. I guess that's something. And Happy Home Designer, man, I don't have much to say about that. Yoshi's Woolly World. Again, we know about this one already. In fact, that's kind of a thing you notice about this direct as well that people kind of had a problem with. There's not much new stuff, and when there is, it's for the 3DS. Not much for Wii U. In fact, so far, the things I mentioned, like Star Fox Zero and Skylanders, those obviously be on the Wii U. Well, those so far are the only ones besides Xenoblade Chronicles X. But we already knew about Xenoblade Chronicles X. And we kind of knew about Star Fox, but now we have more information about it. So I guess in a way it's new information, but it's... Oh god, oh my god, my head's gonna explode. Anyways, Yoshi's Woolly World, I mean, there's not much to say about it. That part kind of dragged on for a while, though. I felt like that could have been summed up in like maybe a couple minutes, tops. And, and plus, especially because I think Europe's getting the game next week or something like that. I don't know. Like, they're getting it relatively soon. So, I mean, there's not much more we can talk about it that's new at the moment. Yokai Watch. This is interesting because this is something a little bit different. I know in Japan this is a really hot thing, but I wonder if it's going to do as well over outside of Japan. I wonder. I mean, it looks interesting. Now, to be honest, I haven't done much Pokemon stuff in a while. I mean, I'm kind of burnt out currently on the main series games. In fact, I'm looking more forward to the Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, and hopefully it's better, and hopefully it's not as disappointing as Gates to Infinity. Like if it's more like the other games, like Explorers of Sky, or like Blue Rescue Team, Red Rescue Team, and stuff like that. Like sign me up, man, because I actually enjoyed Explorers of Sky and the other games a lot. In fact, Explorers of Sky is probably my favorite out of the bunch so far, and heck, if it's anything like that, then I'll be happy. But we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, Yokai Watch, I don't know if I'll pick it up, but for those who definitely are interested, well, it's coming. So that's the thing. Mario & Luigi Paper Jam is very interesting as well. I mean, who'd have thought you'd put Mario & Luigi and Paper Mario together? Not me. I wouldn't have thought about it, but apparently it exists. And it definitely looks more interesting. And what I like about it, it leans more towards the classic Paper Mario & Luigi elements, where you have your traditional jump and hammer attacks, you have special attacks, and you gain experience. So now no longer do you have to worry about wasting your time battling in Paper Mario Sticker Star, because now most of your battles actually give you something. They give you experience, which is very important because, it's a freaking RPG. You level up, you power up, and stuff like that. Super Mario Maker. Seriously, have we not seen enough Super Mario Maker? Don't get me wrong, I'm hyped for that game. In fact, I've been hyped for it even when it was first announced. But yeah, I mean, between past directs and the World Championships, I mean, damn, I think we got a lot of Super Mario Maker. And there's not much else I can really say about it. It's just really cool. And there's just a lot of stuff you can do. You can pretty much mix and match almost everything now. So that's awesome. And then the ending, I'm not going to really say much about it. It's just a bunch of fan-made Mario stuff, which is cool, but kind of a weird way to end the Direct. Now, the coup de grace. The coup de grace. The thing that caused the most controversy of all. And like I said, I skipped that one because I'm going to go more into that one. And that is Metroid Prime Federation Force. Now, right off the bat, when that came up, pretty much people were saying that, Nintendo's dead. I'm moving over to Sony and PS, I'm moving to Sony and Microsoft now. Okay, thanks, bye. And then I'm just like, well, that escalated quickly. But in all due seriousness, though, people were upset like you wouldn't believe. Like if you go to the Nintendo YouTube channel and you go to the trailer for Metroid Prime Federation Force, you might just see just how crazy the dislikes are. In fact, I'm going to quickly bring that up while I'm kind of talking about it. But yeah, basically you got a bunch of this, holy crap, 57,109 dislikes to the 5,887 likes. Dang, it's even worse than I thought. But yeah, basically it's been going up ever since. Like the dislike bar has been going up ever since, and basically everyone at that moment, everyone was pretty much just like, Nintendo, you done goofed. That's it. I'm leaving you, Nintendo. I'm going to Sony and Microsoft. Okay, thanks, bye. Like, well, I don't know if they said it like that, but that's pretty much what they said. And I understand why they're angry. But I want to kind of give my own personal thoughts on it because, well, here's the thing. First off, I'm not like a Metroid guy. Like, I've never played a Metroid game. However, I know the basic premises of Metroid and how they generally work. And this is definitely not what people were asking for when it came to a Metroid title. In fact, when it comes to Metroid, usually you have isolation, you have Samus as the main protagonist, you go around shooting aliens, you might fight bosses like Ridley, Kraid, Mother Brain, stuff like that. There's usually a lot of exploring around, you shoot things, and there's none of this whole mission, there's usually not this whole linear mission based thing like this does, or none of that. Oh, and it especially doesn't ever usually have heavy emphasis on co-op. So with that said, I'm just gonna say this right now before I get into more of this. People talk about how it doesn't look all that impressive. Now you'll notice that in the video, I'm not, and now keep in mind, I'm not trying to defend this 100%. It says development in progress in the fine print that appears on the screen. Like it says development in progress. So it'll probably look better as the game is further in development. Now let's get to the nitty gritty of things. So people are just freaking out about this, and some people were probably confused as to why that is, and others saying you don't understand why we're so angry. And you know what? I agree with that mentality because I agree. Like some people don't understand why they're angry. Now I'm not going to say all the hatred's justified. I understand why the hatred is there in the first place. For one, like it's been 5 years since Metroid Other M was released on the Wii, and if you don't even count Metroid Other M, what was the last one? Like Metroid Prime 3 or something? I don't know. I don't follow the canon of the series. But it's either like Metroid Prime 3 or Metroid Fusion. One of those two. If you don't count Metroid Other M as part of the Metroid series, which some people probably won't, it's been 5 or 8 years, depending on who you're asking. And, when you're waiting for a new game in the series, usually you're adjusted to a particular type of gameplay that the series is known for, obviously. So when not only do you have to wait so long, but when this pops up, this Metroid Prime Federation Force pops up, and all of a sudden it does all this weird stuff, you see not Samus guys, the Galactic Federation soldiers on a frozen wasteland, and then you see the Metroid Prime Federation Force logo up here, people will be like, wait, what? This can't be right. In fact, if anything, people recognized this particular look from that Blast Ball game that goes along with it, the Metroid Prime Blast Ball, which is actually the name of that one. Now, I'm not going to talk much about Blast Ball because basically Blast Ball is kind of it's more like a mini game than anything else. But Federation Force is like the main course, quote unquote, and it's weird because, like, when you have to wait that long, like, it's you wait this long and you get a spinoff and you don't get a main series game alongside it, it can definitely be a huge turnoff. And, it doesn't help that the whole chibi look doesn't appeal to everybody. Now, I know certain characters and franchises do that better, or can do that better. But yeah, certain characters or series can pull that off better, but I'm not going to really talk about that so much because it's not so much, it's just a more of an aesthetic design thing. And again, it's still in development. But here's the thing though, like, I absolutely agree that when it comes to Metroid, I mean, it's kind of weird that just out of nowhere, here's a new Metroid game, but it's not the one people asked for. And that's where definitely the anger spawns from. In fact, I'd say more the anger spawns from the fact that it has Metroid Prime in the name. Some people said if it was just called maybe Federation Force or something like that, or whatever, something that has nothing to do with the Metroid Prime series, they probably wouldn't have hated it so much. Maybe they would have thought of it as just a weird little eShop title or something, something like that. But I don't know, it's just weird. It just came out of nowhere, and it's definitely not what people were asking for. Now, do I think that some of it is going a bit too far? Like, some of the hate going too far? Yes, I think so, actually. And it's all because, well, kind of. It's mostly because of this petition that has been going around. Basically, there was a petition on change.org calling for the cancellation of Metroid Prime Federation Force. And at the current moment of me looking at it, there's like 17,105 supporters. And at the moment, the goal is 25,000. So they need about 8,000 more. And keep in mind, they've got a lot. That's a lot they already got signing for this thing in the past couple of days. And yeah, you could tell that they're angry. They're so angry that they got a petition going on for it. Now, I don't agree with the petition thing because, well, for one, I don't think this is the right, I don't even know if it's the right course of action. I mean, some people are saying, just wait for, like, I don't know. Just, when it comes to this game, now, again, I'm not a Metroid guy. I have a general idea on how they are, and a co-op thing is definitely not what people associate with Metroid. Absolutely not. But when it comes to Metroid, though, like, I'm kind of scared, actually, because I'm scared of talking about, I'm scared to go up to any of them and try to reason with them, because that's why I'm doing it here, because I want to try to, I'm kind of being the, I don't even know. I'm trying to be kind of like the middle guy on this, but it's kind of hard though, because by being the middle guy, being the middle guy kind of sucks at times, because you might just get hate on both sides of the spectrum. I mean, I'm not 100% hating on this game, but I'm not 100% for it either. Like, I'm trying to not go angry video game nerdish on this. And, this is not to diss the angry video game nerd. I love his videos. But I'm trying not to go super duper angry video gamer on this thing, because, like, it's just going to make me bitter the whole time, and I'm never going to move on. In fact, that's the thing, too. Like, with this game, I mean, what's done is done. There's nothing that can be done. I don't think Nintendo's going to take heed to that petition thing. Or at least I don't think they will. I mean, who knows? But I'm surprised that we haven't, like, oh God, I don't even want to say it. I'm not going to say it. That's too drastic for me to talk about. But yeah, like I said, I was on the video and people were going nuts. And, like, it was at that point people just gave up on Nintendo. And, I understand why they feel this way, because, like, when you wait this long for a video game series, it's like if you get an F-Zero game. If it's like waiting for an F-Zero game, and instead of a traditional F-Zero game, you get some weird spin-off game that has nothing to do with F-Zero, then obviously people would be very upset about that. Although someone brought up once about F-Zero basketball, and honestly, that doesn't sound all that bad. Although, if they're going to do that for the sake of everyone not losing their sanity, it should be announced along with the traditional F-Zero game, just so that, you have a spin-off game and a main series game at the same time. Which, that part I can agree with when it comes to this Metroid game, because I do believe that they should have waited a bit, because I think people could have waited a little bit more, as long as we got, a spin-off game like Metroid Prime for Federation Force and a regular Metroid game, a traditional Metroid game. If we had both at the same time, or I guess if Metroid Prime Federation Force didn't have the Metroid moniker on it, it probably would have been, not as horribly ill received as it is now. But I do think that things are going a little too far with it. But as a whole, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I definitely get the anger. In fact, I'm with those guys to an extent, but I'm not with them when it comes to the petition thing. I'm not signing that thing. I'm not going to sign it. Like, I don't think that's a good idea. In fact, if anything, all I'm going to be doing is showing Nintendo that I'm just as insane about it as everybody else. Plus, I'm not a Metroid guy, so I have no real reason to sign it outside of just maybe wanting Nintendo to make another Metroid game that's not this. But honestly, like, looking at the footage at the Nintendo Treehouse, I mean, it doesn't look that bad. Obviously, it's a rough draft of the game, and it's still in development now. And I was kind of getting like a new Super Mario Bros. Kind of co-op thing, where you're kind of moving around and stuff like that. But I don't know, like, it's weird because I want to defend the game, but at the same time, I don't want to. Like, I'm kind of like in the middle of the road. I think it's going too far, but I'm not going to say that hatred isn't justified. Like for me though, I'm just kind of thinking, well, it happened. There's nothing we can really do about it, unless you count the petition thing. And I honestly, I agree with Some Call Me Johnny. I agree that, yeah, it's a very disappointing event, but I don't think I don't need to resort to drastic measures that ends up hurting everyone else around them. And that's the thing, like, when that anger was coming about, I felt it inside. I felt it. It's weird because I felt it inside. So, with that said, that's just my thoughts on it. Do I absolutely agree with this game existing? Well, not really. But do I feel like should we go to the drastic end of things and maybe do something that we'll forever regret? No, absolutely not. And I think that petition is a thing that people will regret at one point. I feel like, I don't know why, but I just have this aching feeling in my gut that this petition is a bad idea. But there's nothing I can do. It's already up. People are signing it. I'm not signing it. I think it was kind of a weird idea for Nintendo to do this and not have, another Metroid game alongside it. In fact, if both were around at the same time, I think it wouldn't have been as bad, just because people would have at least had a spinoff and a main game to work with. But here, you only have a spinoff to work with. And after waiting for like 5 years or 8 years, if you don't count Metroid Other M, for a new Metroid game that's in the style of the other ones, it definitely will piss people off. But I do think that the anger might be going too far to the point where it's hurting everyone else. Emotionally, anyways. I don't know about physically. I mean, unless they're just going around punching people, which I hope they're not doing. But yeah, this is kind of long, but that's just my thoughts on everything. And yeah, sorry for my absence. I just haven't been in the mood to do much Yu-Gi-Oh stuff lately. But ironically enough, the thing that got me back up and doing heavy commentary again was Nintendo's E3. I know that's weird, but to be honest, I mean, the E3 stuff, the E3 digital event stuff, while disappointing in most retrospects, I mean, there were games I'm looking forward to, obviously. The Star Fox game, I'm looking forward to that a lot. I'm looking forward to the Mario and Luigi game. I'm looking kind of forward to the Legend of Zelda 3 Swords Adventure, quote unquote. And I'm also looking forward to Super Mario Maker. Yes, granted, there weren't many new games that revealed for the Wii U, and I do feel like maybe that's a sign of something, but I'm not going to quickly go, Nintendo's dead, okay, thanks, bye, moving to Sony or Microsoft. I'm just going to sit down, I'm just going to chill, and just wait and see what happens. I mean, Nintendo might reveal stuff as time passes. I mean, we always get these directs that show up every so often, like the one for April 1st, where they talked about other things. So it's not just the E3 that they show great content in. there are also other events. So that's why I guess I'm not 100% angry at Nintendo, or I'm not like super angry at them to the point where I'm just selling my Wii U right off the bat. But, you know, I do hope for them. I do wish them the best, though. In fact, I want them to do better, you know? I'm not here to be like, Nintendo, you done good and I hate you. But I want to say that you made some questionable decisions, but I'm not gonna go up there and just smack some faces around. I do want to, you know, I do want people to have their wishes fulfilled. But at the same time, I feel like we might be going a little too far at times. But that's just me. Anyways, if you enjoyed this commentary thingy-mobber, which has nothing to do with Yu-Gi-Oh, kind of weird, you know, let me know what you guys think about the Nintendo Digital event at E3. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What do you think about the whole Metroid thing? What do you think about the Animal Crossing stuff? You know, just whatever. What do you think about this stuff? Like, are you really angry at Nintendo? Or are you just mad? Are you actually excited at Nintendo for showing this stuff off, even though we knew most of it? I don't know. We just have different preferences. I mean, like they say, you can't win them all, and I guess Nintendo didn't win this one. But I mean, considering we had that Smash Bros. Direct, which was awesome, even though people leaked the stuff beforehand, and we also have the Nintendo World Championship stuff. Like, that was amazing. So, I don't know. It's kind of a weird feeling I have towards Nintendo. I'm really happy about this stuff, but then this stuff is, you know, for the most part. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.